A lot of people think wealth is a lifetime mission, but I'm here to show you, not someone else, not the one percenters, you can completely shift your financial future in just a few focused years. You're about to see exactly how ordinary people turn struggle into stability, and how fast that change can really happen when you stop playing the slow game. Because the truth is, while most wait decades to feel secure, a smaller group quietly uses the next 5 to 10 years to build freedom the system swore was impossible. And I'm proof that it works. In less than a decade, I went from a broke 20-year-old with nothing but rent debt to my name, to owning multiple assets that now pay me while I sleep. No rich family, no secret shortcut, just a system I built from raw mistakes, late nights, and persistence. And by the end of this video, you'll understand the same roadmap that flipped my story completely on its head. I remember sitting in a high school classroom when my teacher asked us to write down our dream job, car, and home. Everyone scribbled something safe: accountant, nurse, maybe a nice little house. I wrote business owner, Ferrari, and penthouse. The teacher glanced at my paper, chuckled, and said, "Be realistic." That word hit me harder than any insult ever could. Realistic. That single idea kills more dreams than poverty itself. It's the invisible leash society ties around ambition. I promised myself then that I'd never let someone else's definition of possible decide my future. And that moment became my first real financial lesson. Before you earn a single dollar, you have to protect your mindset from people who've already surrendered theirs. Years later, when I started working as a carpenter's apprentice, I thought I was on my way up. But my manager hated me. He dumped the worst jobs on me every day: cleaning scraps, hauling trash, never learning anything new. One night I came home exhausted, sat in my empty apartment, and realized this can't be my life. I was 20, no kids, no house, nothing to lose. So I quit the next morning. Terrified, yes, but that single risk became the start of everything. Because staying somewhere that kills your growth is the biggest financial risk you'll ever take. Leaving forced me to learn how money actually works outside of a paycheck. I read, experimented, failed, learned again, and finally started my own small workshop. It wasn't glamorous. The first few months I barely made enough to eat. But it was mine, and that ownership changed how I thought about money forever. Most people think the road to wealth starts with the right job or degree. It doesn't. It starts with how you react when things don't go your way. Every obstacle is a question. Are you done, or will you adapt? When a supplier bailed on me, I didn't complain. I found 3 others and offered better terms. When sales slowed, I learned marketing, stayed up nights testing ads. Every problem became a puzzle instead of a wall. That simple shift, seeing challenges as experiments, built my confidence faster than any course could. If one idea failed, I tried 10 more until something clicked. That relentless testing separated me from the crowd that only tries once. Then came the moment that changed my relationship with investing forever. A teenage intern joined my shop for work experience. 14 years old, curious kid. He wouldn't stop talking about stocks and dividends. I thought, what could this kid possibly know? But he mentioned a company he believed would explode soon. He had £1,000 saved and was putting it all in. I laughed, but curiosity won. So I invested a small amount too. 2 weeks later, that stock skyrocketed. He walked into the shop with the biggest grin. I checked the numbers. He'd turned that small bet into £10,000 overnight. That's when I realized money grows faster than time, if you start early enough. Since then, every spare bit I earn gets funneled into assets that compound quietly in the background. And here's where most people go wrong. They wait until their 40s or 50s to begin, telling themselves they'll start investing once things calm down. But study after study proves the same thing. Those who start young, even with small amounts, outperform nearly everyone else. Fidelity ran a 40-year analysis showing that if you missed only the 5 best trading days in the market, your total returns dropped by over 1/3. Miss the 10 best days, and you've lost more than half your potential gains. That's how powerful time is. The market rewards those who show up early, not those who show up perfectly. When I finally started taking investing seriously, I treated it like a second business. I analyzed every platform like a craftsman choosing his tools. The smoother the charts, the better the tracking, the more control I had over my performance. I looked for apps offering a wide variety of stocks and ETFs because diversification isn't a fancy term, it's insurance against chaos. If tech crashes, real estate might rise. If one company sinks, another balances it. Later, I discovered paper trading, using fake money to test real strategies. That practice saved me thousands. I treated every virtual trade like it was my last £100. That discipline transferred directly to real investing. And soon, my small portfolio began compounding into something meaningful. But success has a funny way of testing you again. I once met a man who was listed among the top 50 richest in the country. Huge mansion, fireworks parties, the works. Over coffee, I asked how he made his fortune. He said, "Not from my companies, through leveraged investments." He bragged about earning 30 to 50% a year using borrowed money. It sounded too perfect. A few months later, that entire investment group collapsed. He lost everything: the mansion, the cars, even his reputation. That's when I learned another rule. Never invest in what you don't understand, and never let greed talk louder than logic. The goal isn't to look rich, it's to stay rich. From then on, I built my strategy around what I now call the 3-core portfolio. First, a total U.S. stock market index fund, broad exposure, low fees. Second, a global index fund, so my success isn't tied to one country. Third, a bond fund, to keep stability when markets shake. That mix quietly compounds over time, letting me focus on growing my active income instead of worrying about every market dip. But I didn't stop there. I poured profits into physical assets, real estate, classic cars, high-end watches, items that hold or increase in value while the world spins. Each one became another layer of protection against uncertainty. Eventually, I realized something deeper. Wealth isn't about any single stream of money. It's about building a river that keeps flowing even if one branch dries up. My income now comes from multiple places: my retail business, my distribution deals, affiliate partnerships, ad revenue, rental properties, and long-term investments. If one slows down, the others carry the weight. That's real freedom. Not millions sitting in a bank, but peace of mind knowing that no single failure can ruin me again. And this is what I want you to understand. Your path might not look like mine. You might start with a 9-to-5, a side hustle, or a small online business. But the principle never changes. Diversify your effort, protect your capital, and never stop learning. The person who experiments consistently will always beat the one waiting for perfect conditions. When people ask how long it took me, I tell them the truth. It took me less than 10 years to change my financial life completely. But it wasn't magic. It was momentum. Small steps repeated thousands of times, learning, failing, adjusting, trying again. And each of those decisions stacked until the results looked inevitable. So if you're watching this thinking you're too young, too late, or too behind, stop. The only thing that separates you from freedom is the belief that it's possible. Start with what you have, learn while you earn, invest what you can, and let time do its compounding magic. Because in 10 years, you'll either look back grateful you began or regret you never tried. I can't promise it'll be easy. There will be nights when you question everything. You'll lose deals, make bad calls, and think you're not cut out for this. But remember that the people who win in this game aren't the smartest or the luckiest. They're the ones who stay calm when everyone else panics. They're the ones who adapt, who learn, who refuse to quit. That's the real secret no one sells in courses or books. So here's the takeaway I want to leave you with. Don't aim to look rich, aim to be free. Freedom means waking up without financial fear, without depending on anyone's paycheck, without waiting decades to enjoy your life. Start now, even if it's messy. Every step compounds faster than you think. And 10 years from now, when someone tells you to be realistic, you'll smile because you'll already be living the life they said you couldn't.